So I just wanted to touch upon MSMC in terms of some of the benefits and some of the I would say flaws also within the budget, because as you mentioned in the beginning, this budget is very positive and for larger corporates, but not so beneficial for MSMEs and small startups. So what do you think? What's your take on that thing?
Yeah, actually, like no significant benefits for MSMEs. So no significant benefits. But let me iterate what changes they brought in and in what direction they are trying to think is what we can understand with these changes. See, with respect to LLPs, limited liability partnerships, like in when Companies Act 2013 was introduced, there were so many offences which were criminal in nature. For example, if I don't file my return on time, along with late fees and penalty, there used to be a criminal offence as well. They'll put you into the jail for 1 or 2 years. So there are so many criminal offences. If you don't appoint auditor on time, if you remove your audit committee without notice, so many criminal offences were there. So over a period of past 2 to 3 years, they amended the Companies Act continuously and they decriminalized all those offences. They just put only penalty and they won't initiate criminal proceedings on you. In the same way, they brought the same amendment for LLPs now. Going forward, many offences under LLP Act will be decriminalized. It will not be, having any criminal liability associated with it. It will be just a normal civil liability where I will end up paying some penalty or late fees or interest. But it will not be a criminal investigation which will be initiated. Then when it comes to companies, in companies, there is a concept called as small company. Where government differentiates a small company by providing some additional benefits. The benefits include they need not prepare a cash flow statement. Audit rotation is not applicable for them. They need not change the auditor for n number of years. So these kind of some benefits are there for small company. Earlier, till this budget date, small company was a company which was having paid up capital of 50 lakhs and turnover of 2 crores. Paid up capital of 50 lakhs and turnover of 2 crores. But through this budget, they wanted to increase that limit so that many number of companies can avail this small companies benefits. They increased the paid up capital limit to 2 crores and they increased the turnover limit to 20 crores. So paid up capital limit to 2 crores and turnover limit to 20 crores. The companies which fall under this particular limit can avail all the benefits which are there for the small companies. So that is one positive change for MSME entities as such. It comes to startup, it is just a 4. I think we lost the connection.
Yes.
Anyway, so now the Startup India scheme. Yeah, I'll repeat my sentence regarding Startup India. The Startup India scheme is almost a 4-year-old scheme now. Somewhere in the year 2016, it was a fancy term Startup India scheme was launched, like so much of buzz in the market and all. During that point of time, they made a provision in such a way that any company which is incorporated between April 1st, 2016 and 31st March 2021 will be considered as a startup based on certain conditions. So from 2016 April 1st to 31st March 2021, which means in next 2 months it is going to end. So government decided to extend this benefit for 1 more year. So you can incorporate company even in the next year as well. Still you can register under the Startup India and you can claim those benefits. Then apart from that, in Startup India, there were 2 main income tax benefits. One was for investing into the startup, and the second one was on the profit exemption. As a startup, if I gain some amount of profits, that was tax exempt for 3 years. That was the second benefit. Second benefit, there is no change. But with respect to the first one, as an individual, if I wish to start a startup company today, if I go and invest some amount of money into my startup, that money can be claimed as an exemption in my individual income tax return. I need not pay tax on that. That money can be claimed as an exemption. This benefit was supposed to end by 31st March 2021, but they extended it to 1 more year. And at the same time, there was capital gain exemption. As an individual, if I sell my residential house property, I have my house property, I sold that house property, that amount, whatever I received from the sale of house, I invested into a company. I started my company by selling the house. During that point of time also, tax exemption was there, which was supposed to end by 31st March 2021, but they extended it to 1 more year. But very one significant caveat over here is, all these benefits are available only for the interministerial board registered startups. So in the Startup India campaign, there are two different types of startups. One is a DIPP registered startup, which is like almost lakhs of startups which we are seeing today are all DIPP registered startups. But these benefits, whatever we discussed, are available only for interministerial board startups. Across the country, in the past 5 years of Startup India campaign, we hardly have 1,000 startups which are there under the interministerial board registration. So hardly these benefits are only for those startups.
Yeah. No, what is the difference between the two?
The difference between two is anybody, I mean, if I start a company and if I make an application into the DIPP portal, I'll get the registration immediately.
Okay.
But this registration is not valid for anything. I mean, this registration is just a badge for me that I'm a startup. Basically, I can get onto the ecosystem of startup and I can access some free documents and other things. Whereas, if my idea is innovative and if I am able to, if my idea has a potential of creating the employment and all these some conditions are there, then I can make an application to interministerial board. During that point of time, if they approve, then all these income tax benefits will be accrued. But unfortunately, they haven't approved many applications. They have approved less than 1,000. I'm not sure of the exact number, but it is definitely less than 1,000. Only those 1,000 startups have benefited significantly from the Startup India campaign. But rest of all the startups, we can say that it is an ecosystem where they can connect with each other. But for that, there is no significant benefit as such. So this is for MSMEs and startups as a whole. Apart from that, government announced some 15,000 crores for MSMEs. We have to wait and see how they're going to utilize that money. For now, there is no clarity as such. Maybe we have to look into the budget documents in detail to get to know. But for that, a 15,000 crore rupee fund was announced. So very significantly, for MSME entities, the benefits are in terms of structural changes which are being brought in income tax, GST and Companies Act. The structural level reforms. Though monetary, I mean, reducing the tax rate is not there or tax exemptions are not being given, but they are making structural changes at the department level. For example, they introduced faceless assessment. Today, if I receive income tax notice, I need not fear and then run into the income tax office directly. Today, there is no problem at all. It is a faceless assessment where I can upload the related documents onto the income tax portal. Officer will identify whether documents are proper or not, and then he will reply back. No chance for corruption. Transparency is there in the process. I can do my assessment at the comfort of my home. So that is the significant advantage through faceless assessment. Now, faceless assessment was introduced last before year. See, for example, if you are the assessing officer, you imposed, I mean, as a part of assessment, you asked me to pay 10 lakhs of additional tax, which I didn't like or which I thought it was a wrong assessment. Then I can make an appeal to the next level. That was manual earlier, but now that has been also faceless. I mean, that is also made faceless. So I can make an appeal also faceless. And the next level appeal is for income tax appellate tribunal. So the next level appeal, if I don't like the order passed by the assessing officer appeals, then I can go to the next level, income tax appellate tribunal. That is also being made faceless in the current year. So going forward, for income tax department, everything will be faceless. We need not go to the department at all. Completely, it is going to be faceless. And even they're going to introduce video conferencing assessment as well. So transparency will increase. There won't be corruption as such. So that is one significant advantage. And they also limited assessment reopening time. See, today we are in 2021. Income tax department has power to reopen the assessment for past 6 years. So they can call me and issue a notice for the year 2015-16 or 16-17, which I don't even remember what has happened during that point of time. So for understanding the genuine difficulties which are being faced by the assessees, they said we can reopen the assessment only for a maximum period of 3 years. So government can go only until 2017-18. They cannot issue a notice for past 6 years or 7 years. But there is one exemption. If it is like income which is, fraudulent or exceptional cases. Fraudulently, if you have hidden some income, they can go up to 10 years. They can issue the notice up to 10 years. But in usual case and all, if there is no material evidence to show that there was a fraud, then in usual case and all, they can reopen the assessment only for the 3 years, but not 10 years. So that is one other benefit. And everything is being made online. In income tax, all faceless assessment is being made online. In Companies Act, NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal, that is being made online. In GST also, refunds are made online, and over a period of time, GST audit and scrutiny will also be made online. So online assessment will bring a lot of peace to the taxpayer, lot of peace to the auditor, and transparency into the process. Moreover, corruption will significantly reduce. So these are all like structural level changes. Indirectly, they will definitely benefit all the MSME entities for sure. So
Yeah.
this way I can summarize, like, overall changes which are introduced for MSME entities.